now with our coverage here in the West tonight. Breaking developments from San Bernardino, California. Authorities saying those two suspects, a man and a woman, now dead in that SUV. One lying beside the SUV, the other dragged out of the car, dead. A man and a woman in assault-style clothing where they were killed in a police chase and then shootout. You're looking at live pictures from our team at KABC tonight because there is a search underway in Redlands, California. It's believed a phone tip led authorities there to begin with. And then they discovered that vehicle. They chased it. A gun battle ensued. All the windows, as you saw, blown out of that truck. They did fire back at police. One officer injured. He's expected to be okay. That is good news tonight. I want to bring in our experts. We're going to do a round here. Brad Garrett, Matt Olson standing by, Brian Ross with new reporting here. First, Brad Garrett, who spent many years with the FBI. And Brad, the fact that they're at that home tonight tells you what?
Well, it tells us that they obviously drove home after this shooting. Described about 10 miles away, so they are part of this community. It also is helpful because when you have people that are in the community where the crime occurs, the intelligence you can collect can be very timely. In addition to what obviously Brian is talking about, computers, phones, etc., is that the circle of people they associate with probably are also close by. So drawing the circle as to who's involved, who knew about it, who participated in it, I think they're going to be able to pull that together in fairly short order.
Brad, thank you. Let's get right to Brian. He does have new reporting about another possible link to this story discovered in that home.
That's right, David. Records reviewed by ABC News show that one of the people who lived in this home now being searched was, in fact, an employee at the Department of Health, working in the environmental health section.
And it's believed the Department of Health had reserved that room in that building for this holiday party today.
It was their holiday party, and he had been an employee.
Very eye-opening. Let's bring in Matt Olson, who used to be the National Director of Counterterrorism. He would often brief President Obama, now part of our team. And Matt, you know, if it was still your job there at the White House, what would you be telling the President tonight about your hunch with what's developed this evening? The fact that number two at the FBI saying there that we at least have to explore the possibility here that this man, this woman might have been inspired and that there could have been perhaps more people involved in this attack.
Right, and everything we've seen so far, we still don't know, and I think that's one of the key points that I would be making, and it sounds like that's exactly where the White House is. We still don't know whether this is terrorism or not. That last detail that we just learned from Brian Ross is really very significant in that it does tie it back to some sort of possible workplace violence as opposed to, for example, a foreign terrorist organization like ISIS. So it's just really important right now to remain open to any of these possibilities.
Matt Olson, our thanks to you. Our thanks to Brian, Pierre with us, Brad Garrett, our entire team on the scene in Southern California. I want to bring everyone up to speed as you're watching these live pictures from Redlands, California. Some major developments coming in late this evening. We now know that two suspects are dead. One man, one woman, their relationship unknown, assault-style weapons discovered in that SUV. They were wearing tactical gear, tactical clothing. A third person seen running from the vehicle has been detained there in Southern California. Unclear whether that person has been labeled a suspect at this hour, but no doubt likely being questioned. They are surrounding that house in Redlands, California, where it's believed, Brian Ross reporting earlier, that it might have been a phone tip that led authorities there to begin with. If so, that would be an extraordinary development in the case that perhaps it was a community member who put their hand up and said something is wrong in our neighborhood. The Redlands, California, by the way, about 10 miles from where all this horror unfolded today. And of course, Brian reporting just moments ago that they are exploring the possibility that one of those people in that home could have been connected to the health department there, and we know it was a holiday party set up by the health department.
A person connected to that address is or was an employee of the Department of Health in San Bernardino County.
And as we watch all of these live pictures, the aerials coming in with help from the extraordinary team at Channel 7 there in Los Angeles, KABC, we also know that the scene at the center remains active tonight. Authorities also revealing a short time ago a potential explosive device at the scene of the attack. They're being very careful. And of course, the very difficult task now of informing the families of those 14 victims. There's one more image, a powerful one to show you as we say goodnight here. Workers evacuated after the rampage. They formed a prayer circle outside, locking arm in arm.